bit dreich today, a bit dreich. That's weird. It's like seaweed. It's not like seaweed, it is seaweed. I need to stop talking as though I've got a part in The Only Way is Essex. Stop talking like a child and enunciate properly. Is that the word? I don't know. I was at the little bookshare place that I go to occasionally the other day, and there was four dictionaries on the shelves. I think that's because I say, what's that word? What's the word I can't think of? Or is that the right word? Like they're mocking me. They're trying to take the piss out of me because I can't remember words, because my brain goes blank. And I'll tell you why I think this is. This is my little theory, okay? I had a dream not last night, the night before. And I honestly think that we've been here before. You know, we've been here before. We are consciousness. We're consciousness, and our consciousness that's been here before is trying to remind us of things. It's trying to tell us things and remind us, because our consciousness knows what's going on. Or I mean, you can call it consciousness, you can call it God or Jesus or a higher power, but there's something there. I like to think of it as consciousness, but I can't think of the word. I'm not dismissing God in any way, or a higher power. I'm not dismissing that. I just like to think of it as consciousness. I like to think of it as we've been here before, and something happened and we forgot who we are, and our consciousness is there nudging us, trying to remind us. But these, I think that's what gang stalking is all about. They put all these things around us. It's distractions. It's to distract you from what it is that you're really meant to be seeing. This is to take time up in your brain. You're constantly thinking about what these fucks around you are doing, you know, and they're putting all these synchronisations in your way to get you thinking about the things that they're planting, and not to really, really look deeper and listen deeper to what the consciousness or the higher power is really trying to tell you. And it speaks so very quietly that you really, really need to be listening. And that's why a lot of us, I mean, I speak for myself, but I can tell, and other people, I've listened to people's stories, and often people have had problems with drink or drugs, and you know, that's a part of it. That's the system trying to get you addicted to something, to dumb you down so you don't listen to that tiny little quiet whisper, that inner voice inside of you, that whisper, that's something in the air, that's something good that's trying to tell you things and trying to show you things in your environment that you need to be picking up on. I really believe that, and I get dreams sometimes, and one, not last night but the night before, I had a dream about two guys when I was in basic training. When I joined the British Army, I was in basic training, and in this dream, the two corporals, the two training instructors that were, the heads of my troop, their names came in to my mind in my dream, and I woke up remembering it, and their names are Simon Link and Brian Shearer. Now, I don't care if anyone thinks that decoding things is, you know, stupid, and my brain is just trying to make connections that are not there because I'm schizophrenic or suffering psychosis in some way. I'm quite self-assured that isn't the case. I know that there is something much bigger than me trying to tell me something and try to show me something and try to give me information, and it hasn't failed me in the past. It's always led me down good roads and things that are really useful to me in surviving. So I put those two together, and Brian, well, brain, isn't it? It's an anagram of brain, and Link is Simon Link. So it kind of, I don't know, brain link is in there, isn't it? But Sim on Simon, or on Sim, and Shearer, but Shearer. And Simon Peter, my dad's name was Peter. So maybe my dad was the brain link Shearer. I don't know exactly what it means, but I know that we are linked. I know that these people, these demonic people, have a link to our brain. I have no fucking doubt about that. And I know it sounds fucking wacko, I really do, I understand. I do, for people that aren't quite there yet and thinking this stuff and don't believe in this stuff. I understand. If you'd have said this to me a year ago, I would have thought you were fucking cuckoo and dismissed you. You're given these things, you come to this point, some people get to a certain point in the information and they stop there. Some people are just focused on the gang stalking and thinking this is something being done to them. And that's all they focus on, that's all they concentrate on, is that, and they're totally distracted by it, and they're not listening to anything else around them, and they're still putting shite in their bodies, they're still drinking, they're still smoking, they're still putting shit on their skin that's unnatural, they're still doing other things. Up until a little while ago, I was taking supplements, I was taking magnesium supplements because I thought they were good for me, and they help you stay regular in the bathroom department. I stopped them, and everything that I stop that's not natural, that I shouldn't be putting into my body, that isn't food or water, it has an effect on me. It's like a tiny little whisper inside of me saying, yeah, that's not good for you, it's good that you cut out that thing, everything that I take from you. But I really believe that they are linked to us, that they have the link to our brain. And I think that not just me, but a lot of us, I think I'm just someone that's kind of noticed it and recognises it and can kind of make the connections, and they don't like that. But I think that's why they, I'll tell you a story, and I'm not proud of this, but I had thoughts about harming my child when they were really young, and I managed to stop myself. I didn't do it, but it was almost as if I wasn't the same person in that moment, and I was really wrestling with it. I remember crying at the time that I didn't want to do anything. It was almost like something had taken over me, and I honestly believe that's the truth. I believe that these people have a link to our brain, and they're controlling us. They manage to control you, and I think that is what they're doing, is making kind of snuff movies, if you like. They're murdering, they're getting people to murder their children, they're getting people to abuse their children for their entertainment, because that's what they enjoy. It's like a real life movie for them. That's the only way that I can explain it, And like I say, I don't take any fucking pride in telling you that. It's a terrible thing to do, but it wasn't me. I absolutely love my children. I adore them, both of them. They're my total world. I would never, ever do anything to harm them. But I think I was doing a lot of bad things at the time. I think I allowed them to take over my brain. And I do think that's how this works. I think they have a brain link to us, and they link us to certain people, i.e., people who enjoy watching snuff movies of children being murdered, people who are paedophiles. And then they play out the real life scenario in people whose brains that they have the ability to control, because they're putting certain things into their body, i.e. drugs, drink, medicine, using things with heavy metals in them, etc. I honestly do believe that that's the case, and I think the key to this is kind of realising that, and like I said, maybe finding out who has the brain link. I don't know. Like I said, Simon or simulation on, or on simulation. I remember after my nana died, my brother and I went to her funeral. This was in 2010, 2011 she died. My brother, he lived in Yorkshire, I lived in Scotland, but we met up at the funeral, and my brother gave a memory card to two of my cousins who are involved in my targeting and who are named in my dad's suicide letter, which I find very interesting. He said to them at the time, there's lots of movies on there. See, he is a key part in my targeting, and he's a key part of the fact that my brain's linked to these fucking evil people, whoever they are. But I think he sold the rights to that. That's what I think happened. He seemed to be living a very comfortable lifestyle while I was living in a high-rise flat as a single parent working full-time. He was living with a woman 20 years older than him in a £500,000 house, renting out our parents' house for at least 5 years, receiving the rent for it and not giving me a penny. And then he got the hump when I insisted that it was sold. So he's very money orientated. very narcissistic, and I think he is the link to this. But yeah, Sim on, BrainLink, Sharer. You know, you need to really listen. Really need to listen to those little whispers that come to you, those little things that you think about in moments of quietness, those little things in your dreams that you start deciphering, and then you doubt yourself. I doubt myself all the time. I think, nah, I can't possibly be there, but we've been here before. We've been here before, all of us that feel this way, and we've left little clues for ourselves, and we know how to decipher this. We know how to decipher this if it is a simulation. And you can't go wrong. You won't let yourself go wrong, because you are the person who knows the key. You know what I mean? Anyway, blah-de-blah. Yeah. I'm sure this will come across as absolute fucking nutcase, but like I've said before, I'm kind of past caring. You know, the people that are meant to hear this and the people that understand, because there are people that understand, will truly listen, and they'll believe and they'll know that I'm talking sense. So anyway, take care, and you know, trust your gut, and trust the little voice, trust that tiny little whisper. Anyway, God bless, lots of love, bye bye.